Warning, 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 warning. This is a emergency broadcast. Code Red, hold on, Code Red, here we are. Pick up your iPads, your cell phones, and have me and listen to Uncle the Podcast. Watch out. If you're sitting down for this, or if you're standing up, you better get ready for this, because it's gonna hit the eardrums. Uncle the Podcast.
You are listening to Uncle the Broadcast. My name is Aaron. I'm the nephew-in-law. Here with me, as always, is the star of the show, Uncle.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We're back on the air, and it is a Friday night, and I believe we got some customers on the line, and it's 156 episode.
Yes, that's
how we got it down.
That's everything you need to know about tonight's show.
Night show. All right, who's us on the line, and who we waiting for?
Going right to the phone lines.
Phone line. I have to believe there's some people waiting.
Caller, what's your name and where are you calling from?
Well, first you got Marlon on Skype. Don't forget.
Oh, right. Okay, Marvin, what do we have to talk about?
Oh, okay. Well, I thought it would be interesting to ask you, Uncle. I'm always interested in everyone. What's your first memory? Do you remember your first memory?
Of anything?
Of anything at all, yeah. Just your first memory.
I remember that it's a memory.
What I'm sitting on, I was trying to figure a memory of what I'm doing right now.
So right now is your first memory?
Yeah.
So you're
this conversation of talking to people on spikes.
It's like
I always like. Wait, let me talk.
Sorry.
I always liked to listen to people on Spike and Retro Live. You got it.
Oh, yeah. Marlon Eniger coming in through Skype, of course. Yeah. Our first guest of the night. Anybody else who wants to call in tonight, the number is 319-527-5016.
And I've got some news for Sidekick.
What is that?
I've got a new listener that I picked up today.
Oh,
exactly.
Yeah. Where'd you find this customer from?
This customer, I gave him cards from his Skype and your Skype. Oh, so if she wanted to call in, she's welcome to.
Good.
But so she drives she just goes on the train on Fridays.
Train
rider. A train rider.
Oh, good. We love those train people. They're great.
So,
love your fellow train riders. It's always great to have them. We're live every Friday night on Ocelli.com. This is live right now.
We're live right now.
That's how we get these callers in. It's a radio show we do.
Okay, now, what do we have to talk about there, customer?
Well, I think we have another caller that's on the line that we're going to bring on the show now. Caller, what's your name and where are you calling from?
He's getting better.
Hey, it's JG Michael from the Paralyzed Youth Podcast. Nice to hear from you again, Uncle.
Oh, podcast.
We know JG.
Last time I was on Aaron's show.
I remember you. JG, are you the one that I'm sending you Are you the one I'm sending the paragraph, the book to?
Oh, no. That's fully I do. JG, last time he was on the show when you were here, Uncle, he was with Rachel Haywire, the presidential candidate.
That's right.
He was on with her.
That's right. I remember now.
We spoke together with JG.
So how are they doing? How's she doing with this thing to get it into the White House?
I believe Rachel is still hard at work with her candidacy as the going for the presidency through the Transhumanist Party, Uncle. I believe she is still at it.
Well, if she's strong enough, question we have to ask our people, the voters, is she strong enough to be a president like Reagan was? Can she be that kind of person? That's what we want to know.
You know what's interesting, Uncle, is that Marlon, who's on the Skype, actually has another female candidate in mind for 2020.
So who does that be?
Yeah, Marlon, go ahead.
Well, I actually talked with her recently, and I convinced her to run. I've convinced Hillary Clinton to run again, and I'm going to be running her campaign.
Uncle, you're making faces, but what say you to this?
There's only one question that I have to ask.
Go ahead.
The Clinton lady. Do you think that she can run it again for what they did to her, or we did, or what was the story with that?
Well, here's my idea. I think in the last campaign, she was accused a lot of being inauthentic and inhuman and possibly a reptile. And I think that this time, what she really has to do is she has to run and be herself a lot more. And I think that would avoid that problem, which is why, we've decided she's going to run on her slogan's going to be her slogan's going to be "No rules this time." That's going to be the slogan.
Oh.
And
that's okay.
We're going to run on it. Go on.
She's not playing nice. She's not playing nice this time, Uncle.
Well, this, though, I have my doubts, but because of what she did in the past, will you think the voters would be interested in her being?
They weren't before.
Being like this. This is all I'm asking.
We won 3 million votes last time.
Point taken. Marlon.
I'd take a flip. I'd take a flip of a coin for the audience. I mean, just for that
I'll see if
reason.
I can get her on next time. She can make the pitch directly. I've been talking with her.
Okay, then.
Not bad, right, Uncle?
Have her on. That'd be a good point.
Yeah, we'll
bring them on. I like to talk.
Bring HRC on here.
HRC on. Let's see if you can do that. Fine.
JG, what do you think about this presidential campaign?
Yeah.
Well, I want to ask Marlon, I always know that great bastion of truthiness, Dinesh D'Souza, claims that Hillary Clinton is a crypto-Marxist. And I know you're a man of the left. Is Dinesh D'Souza telling the truth? Is Hillary Clinton a crypto-Marxist?
Yeah, I sort of dispense with the crypto myself, personally. As for Clinton, for the purposes of my joke campaign, she's going to be running on a Maoist platform. But for the purpose of reality, yeah, she's not at all on the left. She's hardly on the left at all. She's not a crypto-Marxist. She's like maybe a crypto Marxist, if anything. Which is a long way off from being a Marxist.
A lot of crypto.
Well, there is one thing that I look for to see a president.
What's that? Not
to the left, not to the right.
Center.
Right in the middle.
Right
if it's a serious Democrat that really trusts himself to be the president, I want him to go straight line.
Yeah, it's like bowling a strike.
Yeah, right. Now, you need a president like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think the voters are looking for.
We're not trying to pick up a spare here.
Yeah, no. It's got to be strikes.
Mm-hmm.
All right, sidekick, you're getting good on bowling.
Bowling metaphors. Really
that's
working.
That's what I'm for.
Yeah.
I agree with the idea that centrism is important. In the 1920s, there was a big debate in the Communist Party in Russia between the right opposition and the left opposition, and that was the right opposition supported the new economic policy and friendly relations with capitalist countries, and the left opposition supported immediate world revolution.
Yeah.
And the guy who managed to sort of unite those people was Joseph Stalin. He took a more centrist position. So they, often he was insulted by the Trotskyists. They called him a centrist Marxist. But you're right, you need centrism to get things done. And I
know, and I think that's what I think she was actually lacking in what was going on. She wasn't straight lining it. She was to the right.
She was zigzagging all over the place. Let's not mince words, Uncle.
Well, yes, yeah. I mean, I was getting there. So
the woman was all over the place.
It was running like...
What was she thinking?
Monopoly game going on.
See,
in a kind of.
But
see, now that
ways, I'm told.
See, and like Stalin, if she increased her mustache game, it might help too, right? I'm just saying.
Yeah, we're gonna have her grow a mustache. That's what she's been doing these past 3 years. She's been just growing that mustache.
Oh, right on. All right.
Wonderful. Yeah. That's a bold move, and that's a political statement in and of itself. JG, anything else you want to add to this here? Yeah. You still there?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, actually, I didn't get to call in during the last hour, but I wanted to respond to something one of your callers in the last hour with your show said, Aaron. Is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely. If it's okay with Uncle, is that all right, Uncle?
Go ahead. I don't know what.
Show, Uncle.
I don't know what his hour was, so I have no idea.
Would you like to learn?
Well, it's kind of interesting, Uncle, because the 2 hours are folding together real nice. Actually, it's actually making sense. Yeah, between the 2 hours, the same kind of discussion was on last hour.
Let me hear what he had this first hour.
Okay,
go ahead.
Take it away, JG.
Go ahead.
Well, so in the last hour, you had a caller that mentioned a book called Giants, the Global Power Elite, and I wanted to comment on that. The author of that is a really good sociologist out of California by the name of Peter Phillips. He continues in the tradition of the sociologist C. Wright Mills, who wrote about power elite theory. And it's interesting that someone would mention Peter's work because Peter is the original guy that covered Bohemian Grove. His dissertation in academia was about Bohemian Grove, and it was called A Relative Advantage. Most people don't know about Peter's work, and yet it's a million times better than anything we have seen from sensationalists like Alex Jones. So I was happy to hear a listener was interested in looking at his book, Giants, the Global Power Elite, because it's a really fantastic book, and it has a very class analysis orientation in line with what Marlon was talking about in the last hour. I guess the only other thing I wanted to add was you guys were talking about the issue of racism.
Yeah.
I find it interesting that recently, some of these far right-wing racists are now trying to fold lighter-skinned Latinos into the category of white. For instance, there's Nick Fuentes, who's sort of an alt-right rising star, very young, but he's a Latino. And I find it very interesting and telling that they're folding lighter-skinned Latinos into the category of white because it indicates that they can't, keep control with the numbers they have right now. I was wondering what Marlon's thoughts on that war.
I mean, I would say, Latinos, there are a lot of white Latinos. I don't think Nick Fuentes is particularly, race, of course, in South America is a much different conversation than in North America because it was much more delineated. There was like a much more formal division of who was who.
Let me drop a bee in your bonnet about that, JG, because you got to remember that Italians, initially when they came to this country, were not seen as white people.
Italians and Irish Catholics.
Well, yeah.
Irish Catholics as well, yeah.
Yeah, but we'll put the Irish Catholics aside because that's religiosity versus ethnicity, right? Because if you were Irish and you were Protestant, maybe it was a different thing, and that's how you got to be cops. You know what I mean? That's why the old Irish cop thing is a thing. But the deal is that Italians, when they first got here, not white people. Gradually, they're now accepted as white people, but initially, even the government would stamp would stamp them at Ellis Island non-white. So, there's this progression of interesting stuff. Matter of fact, Uncle's been alive long enough to probably know that a lot of people did not used to consider Italians white people, did they, Uncle?
No, they didn't.
No.
What they called them now, they was going on talking all this kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Well, they were talking to the starting of this country started with the blacks.
Of America?
Of America, if you believe it or not. And besides that, the Indians were over first, and then came the blacks. That's one.
They have a few thousand years on us, yes.
Yeah, that way, because they were the ones, we took them away from the land.
Good point.
Do you know that, fellas?
Oh yeah, yeah. No, we're all familiar with how black people ended up coming to America in the first place. Sure, but I'm just saying in more recent times with this whole idea about suddenly changing people from being non-white to white, because that's what they were talking about with Hispanics. Or Latinos, whatever it is. I'm sorry, Hispanic is the wrong term now, right? But the thing is that that transition, you knew that already. That happened before. There were other people that were sort of not considered to be white people, and then culturally somehow got sucked into that, which is interesting, I think.
Well, I think it goes to the point of caste, and the material unity with empire. They see that you can, if you give people a chance to buy into it, that they'll move away from more progressive movements, and they'll become more reactionary if they're given a position. Access to certain jobs, access to living in certain places, if they're given that caste status as white.
See that, but that's the thing. That's another thing too. Is that, Uncle? Isn't it like one of the best parts about America? This idea that like everybody. I mean, we come here in all different ways, but everybody is supposed to eventually, just be considered part of the whole thing, right? It's kind of an interesting share, isn't it?
That's the theory,
right?
That's the theory. Yeah.
We are talking about points of skin too, though. Now, that's what you guys are absolutely talking about. A point of skin, of what person the skin is. The person is what I'm trying to say there, Chuck.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's
that's what we're talking about.
Oh, exactly.
I'm getting the idea.
It's an ever shifting concept of who is in what ethnic group and what race is what and who's who and
that's exactly
what label
what
means what and.
Yeah, well, that's why I wanted, the oldest guy on the call to say, he knew a time when things were different and things change over time. That's all I was trying to get at is that this has happened before. This isn't something new, and Uncle knows it. So
I know that. I've had some friends. Now mentioning it that as you were talking about all kinds of people like that around me, and I know how one kind of group react to another kind of group and have this conversation going on back and forth with each other.
Well, that's always an issue.
The issue is what I'm getting to there.
Yeah,
sidekick.
Absolutely.
Going for the issue problem of what we're having this conversation about.
Absolutely.
That's what I was getting to, right?
Yeah. JG, you there?
JG, you there?
Yeah. Well, what I was going to say was, no, I agree with you completely, Chuck. We can look at Italians. Even at one point, Jews weren't really considered white. I mean, I guess nationalist types still don't consider them white. I only bring up the example of Nick Fuentes and some of these white nationalists embracing lighter-skinned Latinos to just drive home the point that this idea of whiteness is kind of completely. I know people hate this term, but it's socially constructed. It's a concept we came up with, and I think the fact that people like Fuentes are being embraced by these nationalist, racist elements is proof that it's an incoherent concept. This idea of whiteness.
Oh yeah, definitely. So. There could be a lot of other topics we could cover here.
Okay, let's.
I'm just saying because this is one I don't want Uncle to get bored with this one because it is his show. But I knew he had some views on this, and so I want to let him get them out. Yeah. Where should we go next, Uncle? I'm not even checking on the callers. I should do that too. Sorry.
Yeah, check them just to have to make sure where they're at.
Yeah, you never know when another caller will.
Well, he'll pop up on him, and he'll let us know.
They keep coming tonight, Uncle. Well, we've got lots of good.
Hey, Uncle.
We'll
Uncle,
go
I wanted to ask you. No,
go
on. I'm sorry for interrupting.
Oh, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, Uncle, Halloween season is coming around, and for my podcast, Parallax Views, I'm doing a bunch of Halloween-themed episodes, and I was wondering, what do you have planned for the Halloween season, and do you have any favorite spooky movies?
Oh, the original ones that I always like is the Michael Myers. I know a few of them were on, and I was listening to some of them, and of course the original Jason's. Other than that, I haven't seen that many. But those are the main two.
Any suggestions for us, JG?
Yeah, any suggestions?
I'm trying to think off the top of my head. There's a few I'm getting around to watching now that just came out. Rabbit is supposed to be pretty good. I asked because I'm trying to interview a few people involved in the horror movie filmmaking circuit, and I just interviewed one who would film movies during a flood, the Great Flood of '93 in the Midwest. It's a really crazy community because a lot of these directors, they film with barely any money, and they're still able to make these movies and make a pretty good buck off them. So it's an interesting sort of field. I like the new Halloween movie though.
Did anybody
the one with Jamie Lee Curtis?
Yeah, see, now there's a weird question because Uncle said he likes probably the old Michael Myers movies, right? The old Halloween movies.
Them the ones I've been watching now.
Yeah, did you ever see the ones
seen
like the
newer ones?
The remakes, like Rob Zombie remade it, and and then it was kind of rebooted again. I mean, there's a strange sort of universe to the Halloween movies, including Halloween 3. You ever see the weird one that has nothing to do with Michael Myers?
No.
Halloween 3 is a great movie, and I don't care what anyone says.
3.
Okay.
That's this movie.
Well,
now that we're talking about movies, I got a question. Did anybody here on this broadcast ever seen the movie The Joker? Now, I saw the movie. I would talk about it unless you guys haven't. Anybody there have seen it?
Has anybody
before?
seen this film?
I have
seen this film.
The new Joker movie.
I haven't watched it because everyone is talking about it, and it's just hard for me to watch whatever the latest movie that's the craze is. But I do want to hear Uncle's take on it.
That's so funny because my answer is the same as JG's. Go ahead.
Me and Sidekick here.
Oh yeah.
Real good because we have seen it.
I have seen it.
We have seen it, and I'm telling you, it is.
It is.
Beginning sad. It really is sad in the beginning of the movie.
Starts out on
a low point, but man, if you guys haven't seen it, you'll get something out of it to talk about.
So people should watch it. Is that the takeaway, Uncle?
Get somebody to watch it if you want. If you guys would watch it on my show next week.
Reconvene
that show.
We want to hear
from what you guys thoughts of it. How's that sound? Hello?
Crickets.
I want to hear Uncle's review of the Joker for sure.
Tell you the truth, I'm again with JG. I would just like to hear what Uncle has to say about it before I even go see the movie. I don't want to go see it until I hear what Uncle has to say.
Oh, so you don't want to see it anyway?
No, don't worry. Just
okay,
spoil
then
away,
I can
Uncle.
tell it to you then.
Tell him. Tell it to people.
You can't spoil much for me, Uncle, because I've studied the comic books a lot, and there's a lot of versions of the Joker out there. So, I mean, it's impossible to really spoil stuff, I think. So
that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
But, if you guys would want me to, I'll go ahead and say about it.
Yeah.
We got a half hour left.
What they want.
Well, okay, then I'll give you what you want.
Here we go.
Sidekick.
Here it comes.
Now, this is what happens.
Here it is.
We had what I didn't understand in this movie was he was going around getting kicked around, kicked around, pulling the guys in you. That was the sad part of the show.
He was getting mugged and
kicked and stuff. That was absolutely not sensible. No. But then he had a friend at work.
Yes.
Says, here, take this gun. Oh, man. He start taking the gun. and did some damage. He had killing people.
Yeah, he had a handgun.
Started shooting. The guy that he gave the gun to, he actually shot him. The little short guy says, "Don't shoot me! Don't shoot me!" Like he was scared to death.
Yeah.
And so,
nobody wants to be shot.
I don't want to touch you because you're the only one that understood me. So, and then went out the door. But the other parts were that, and he also killed his mother, suffocated her, done all this kind of stuff going on.
Gets pretty dark.
It gets darker, and then at the end, he's clicking around, shot that girl.
He shot that girl. He shot her.
Shot her and that little girl.
And
then
her.
We saw the image. That's the part that he didn't. Sidekick didn't understand.
There's parts because I'll just add in that he has psychosis.
Yeah,
and so you're seeing sort of through his point of view. There'll be scenes in the movie that are just elements, psychotic episodes that he's having, but you're having them along with him. It's like, oh wait, and then only later do you realize, like, oh wait, that was just in his head. That didn't actually happen.
And all these memories that he had pops out in his head. He's thinking about it all. And this goes on, and then he goes down the end and clicks away, and that was the end of the show. But
that was it.
Yeah,
there you go. Was that your review, Uncle?
That was more like it.
So,
that's the Uncle review.
Yeah, how's that?
It sounds like it's just a mix of Taxi Driver, The King of Comedy, and Fight Club. Maybe I'll skip it because I've seen all three of those movies.
There's some similarities there.
Yeah, it could be. You could be right about that.
Again, Uncle, JG is pretty much saying what I'm thinking. Go ahead.
Uncle, what did you think of Robert De Niro's performance in the movie? Did you like? You noticed De Niro was in there, right?
I was trying to figure out which one he was. Was he the clown?
He was the television host, the late night show.
Oh, no, that's one thing I did miss. You're right. So I missed something.
De Niro.
The hero, they asked the hero guy, told the clown to come on into the show. And he came into the show, then he started getting crazy, shot the guest, the guy.
Oh, yeah, he shot
and he shot him down.
Oh, yeah.
And then he says things of what he was thinking in his mind. Told those guys before he started shooting them.
He let them
let them know about it. And this was what was going on.
Yeah.
And then gone in and started shoot the guy, and he actually killed him too.
There you have it. That was De Niro in the movie.
That was De Niro that you said sidekick.
So continue,
Aaron, real quick.
It was.
I'm going to get off the line after this, but you mentioned good horror movies to watch, and I just thought of one since you were talking about the Joker. I just interviewed Todd Sheets, who has directed a movie called Clownado, which I don't know if you guys have seen Sharknado and the It movies, but it's basically what would happen if you combine the two, and it's amazing.
Are they on Netflix?
Oh, also, I just found out there's a movie called President Evil, which is a remake of Halloween with a guy running around killing people in a Donald Trump mask. And that's all I'm going to say. Watch those movies. Uncle, I want your review of Clownado. Killer clowns in a killer tornado.
Find out.
You will love it.
Hey, JG, before you run, real quick, thumbs up or thumbs down on Killer Clowns from Outer Space, though?
Clown Space.
I love Killer Clowns from Outer Space. I mean, it has Dean Warmer from Animal House in it. It's an undisputable classic. I love Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Okay.
I consider it the Salvador Dali of horror film.
Okay, cool.
I love that movie too. I love the theme song as well. It's a great theme song.
Oh, excellent.
A lot of fun. A lot of fun, that song. Uncle,
anyways, I'm going to get going, but I'm going to listen when I get off the line. Bye.
Okay, thanks for calling, JG. Call in anytime. Great to have you. All right, there he goes. J.G. Michael of Parallax Views podcast.
Parallax Views podcast.
Listen to that show.
So I think Marlon is still on the line, but he didn't exactly expect us to send in the clowns.
All right, clowns. Where's the clowns?
Marlon, you there?
Are you there?
He may be away at the moment.
Oh, he might have gone away. He might have gone away. But this is an interesting topic, though. Did you? I didn't get a sense of whether you really liked the Joker movie. Is it like how would we do? We know how we do the beer with the rating system. Does he have a rating system for movies?
Yeah, we do. We do the same rating system, right? 1 to 10,
I do.
1 to 10. Then, what do you think of that one?
Close to 8.
Hey,
I'll give it an 8. It's not over the top, though. But
not over the top, but good.
Definitely, but good. But it's.
But
I think my opinion, I think he went loco. The fellow in the show, but you know.
Yeah. He was having having some mental health issues, without a doubt.
Definitely.
It was. But what I want to know is, have you seen Killer Clowns from Outer Space, Uncle? Have you seen that movie? You've never seen that one?
I've got to see these movies.
Oh, man. Yeah, it's a good one.
I've got to see these movies. Are they on Reflex?
It might be. I think it might have been. I'll have to check and see.
I know Killer Clowns was on Netflix.
I can watch them on them if you have these movies on there.
I think it might be. We'll check it.
I'll have to see, because that's the ones I follow off of.
Yeah, Killer Clowns was on Netflix. I don't know if it is now. You know what else might be on Netflix for Uncle is Killing Joke. Maybe.
Killing Joke, yes.
Which is the animated origin story for Joker. And it's a little weird. That one, of course, I think it's got Mark Hamill doing the voice and all that.
Just like the old cartoon animated series on TV, Hamill did the voice of the Joker.
Yeah. I think he does the voice on that one. But if he doesn't, whoever it is doing a pretty wicked voice on there. And that's the one where he's in a comedy club. It's similar. It's got elements in this new movie, apparently, from The Killing Joke. But Killing Joke's a little different because, you have this very sad sort of stand-up comedian who's a failure also. And all that, but just saying, I'm thinking if Uncle wants to go full on Joker, I mean, there's new movies that are going to come out in the next few months, I think, that are more Joker.
There is one, the Charlie's Angels, that I'm waiting on.
Yep, it's coming.
That's coming on.
Get ready for it, everybody.
I want to talk about that one, but
that's
the new one.
The latest iteration of Charlie's Angels here for everybody. That's exciting.
Yeah.
Hey, since we're running around on movies too, what about the Star Wars that's coming out in December? You looking to see that one, Uncle?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Wait, is this the final episode, so to speak, in the now 9-part series of just the regular Star Wars saga? Is that what it is, Chuck?
Well, is it?
That's what I understand.
So this is the final one.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
When's it come out?
When does it come out?
Last I looked, I saw a projected date of December 20. So I'm not sure if that's right, but that I think if you look, it'll be around there.
So next Christmas. Yeah, it sounds about right.
About Christmas time. Yeah. So don't you know what's coming up in the next year?
What's that?
Everybody's been waiting for Top Gun.
Yeah, of course.
Well, when that thing comes out, we're going to talk about it.
That also comes out in 2020, I believe. Yeah, that's going to be So, we'll be on top of that one.
We'll be on top of that one. But
we'll bring back in Pierce for that.
Pierce got to be in that one.
Going to have to.
Have to come up with that. But now, do anybody else on that line? Just to have to know if anybody's waiting.
Well, at the moment, no, but we got about 20 minutes left of the show, just so you know.
Oh, wow. Look at how fast it went. See how fast my shows go?
Pretty quick, yeah.
Very, very fast.
Yeah.
Well, I'm hoping a lot of people that I gave the cards out to are listening. I had one lady in the bar that said she listened, so.
Oh, really?
So she's the one I gave the cards out. I wanted the cards for.
Oh, good.
So she's listening. I know she's listening.
Well, I'm sure that some of the cards that you give out, and people say that they're listening, probably do it via the podcast,
By the podcast.
A lot of podcast listeners listening out there.
I've got so many out right now. Mm-hmm. They'll never get, to get the newer ones, but if they go on through fast, man, catch up with it,
Oh, yeah. Lots to catch up on.
Yeah.
Go back in those old episodes
right.
and
So
give them a binge listen, all of them.
yeah.
We've had people do that.
Yeah, they did. And then I had to be understand how they like it. Since I don't know what to talk about.
Right. If you want a quick catch-up on who I do see on the live stream, I can let you know that too, Uncle, if you want.
Okay, who is that?
There we go.
Who was on the screen?
Right now.
Well, let's see. On the screen right now that I see on the stream is, let's see, Columbus, Ohio, Houston, Texas, Ottawa, Ontario, Canada, Port Jarvis, New York, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, another Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Washington, Virginia. Those are just states, no cities given. Another one in Texas. Only one listener in California right now that I see.
Okay.
But
wow.
there are
everybody
in
the United States. Any chance?
Oh no, there's a couple of them that are unidentified United States. I'm not sure. One of them's on an Apple. Another one says Mozilla 5. I don't know what that means exactly,
Well, at least they're listening. Well, how long is it listening?
Uncle, I noticed, I couldn't help but notice that somebody in Columbus, Ohio is listening.
Yep.
And I get the feeling it might be somebody I know
Father?
from my time living there.
Your father?
No, my family doesn't live there, but I do have friends who still live there. And I will implore you, if that's the case, call in. Call in to the show, and let's talk about old times, shall we?
Yeah.
Call in. The number is 319-527-5016. Again, if you, one of my old friends in Columbus, Ohio, is listening now, do call in 319-527-5016. I'm sure there will be plenty that we can talk about. So please do that. I noticed Pennsylvania, but I don't know too many people in Pittsburgh, so I don't know. Maybe that's Joseph L. Flatley and his crew listening.
Well, since we got a little time here.
Yeah.
That room.
That crack room.
Yeah, what is going on there? I'm getting excited with those guys.
Some illicit activity. Well, actually, it's they're behaving themselves in the crack room.
I've noticed because it's been quiet.
It's been quiet compared to last week.
Oh, man, they were nuts.
It was a little wacky last week. Things have calmed down quite a bit. The only person that appears to be there at the moment is good friend Lucum. Frequent chatter, supporter of the show, friend of the show. Lucum is in the chat room. If you want to join the chat room, go over to Ocelli.com and do so.
Yeah, call up. And I mean, what you have to say about this night?
We're making the show interactive, Uncle.
Yeah. We'll do it that way because I figured we'll go ahead and do it since, I get something out of something.
Yeah, you get nothing from nothing.
Well, I've found out something about old sidekick, for ladies and gentlemen.
What's that?
His mixed drinks. I have to go back to his drinking for one moment.
we got to go back.
I mean, this guy.
Yeah, this guy.
I tell him one drink, stick on. Don't mix it or you're going to have a problem. And what does he do? Mix the drink and have a problem, and then go to work.
Yeah, this is
the problem.
This was last week.
3.7 last week.
Last week,
at some point.
I had a problem. I had beer, and then after that, what did I have? Oh, I had vodka mixed with ginger beer.
Remember, only on New Year's. Don't go overboard.
I know. I gotta dial it back a bit. The rest of the year.
You gotta remember the New Year's thing.
Yeah.
I can't have a boy side here not talking to me and New Year's Revolution thing.
Well, I don't think
it was happening.
It wasn't the night of the broadcast. It was just another night that I happened to drink.
Whoa.
Was it? I don't remember. I just know that it ended up.
He didn't even know.
Bit, yeah.
See, that's what I mean. He don't even know.
Whoops.
What hit him? I mean, from my standpoint, I'm trying to eliminate some stuff, but I have to have one or two for the New Year's thing. But that
got to
on a separate point that I have to. But
got to do it.
So because I do them every year.
Mm-hmm.
That's just what I wanted to say.
And for those of you who aren't aware, we will be doing our special Uncle's New Year's Revolution on New Year's Eve live. Last year, it was a 4-hour show.
4-hour show, and people
we were there for the whole thing.
Oh, Chucky boy, there.
Chuck was there producing.
He was exhausted the next morning.
Lots of guests. It's an extravaganza of guests. It's a party in and of
like
itself.
They call in right after the other. Wow. I think like that is what I like about it. I want to show you. This is what I like about it. I like about that is because they call in. They'll call
Lots
in.
of callers.
And they'll call in from all over the place.
Well, see,
I don't know where they're coming from.
Yeah, I think the smart thing there, Uncle, is that we started before it was midnight on the East Coast, right? So that meant that we got to say Happy New Year to the East Coast, and people were, they were up and about at 11 or 12 over here. But by the time it gets to midnight in California, it's 3 a.m. on the East Coast. So, a lot of people are done.
well, I don't expect those people being at, when you said 12 o'clock here and 3 o'clock there, they'll be passed out.
Well, regardless,
but see, we gave them a chance.
But
we gave them a chance
I just have to know where we come from.
Well, we gave them a chance, you see, because we started at 11 o'clock here, right? That meant that everybody from 11 to 12 o'clock, wherever they were, had a chance to call in. That's why it worked. It was kind of tiring for us, but that's how we got everybody, I think.
How would you think we should do this coming year there, Chuck?
The same way.
We should make it a early starter to get them to talk before we have a couple drinks.
If we start early, though, we're not going to be able to take it all the way through to saying Happy New Year in California, right? We got to pace ourselves. I'm thinking if we go over that 4.5 hours, I mean, look, you guys are in charge here. You figure out the format. I will do everything I can to execute it, but you start taking me into 5-6 hours worth of work. I don't know.
I'm thinking. I am thinking, since we're still on air here, I'm still thinking 4 hours in a New Year's Revolution conversation, I think, is long enough.
Well, then we got to do it 4.5 because we start before it's midnight here.
4.5 then, because I've noticed everybody's exhausted and passed out. And I don't, but they go wild, of course, in New York. Of course, when that ball goes started down, that would be saying, oh, well, it's almost that time to end it. You know what I mean?
Well, right, but that's the thing. That's the time to end it on the East Coast, and then we move into the Central, the Mountain, and finally the Pacific. And that's the thing, is that we're catching everybody when they should be all awake and good.
Oh, that's right.
But by the time you're, saying Happy New Year in California, trust me, a lot of people on the East Coast are passed out. So, that. We got calls from Florida, though, in the early hours. We got calls from all up and down the East Coast in the early hour. But those people are gone by the time you're saying Happy New Year for yourself, right?
Oh, yeah. That's a 3 hour just across state.
Right.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah. So, but I think we can do the same thing again, except maybe you guys will add more video to it or whatever. But we can maintain that.
Well, we did the full live stream video last year, and
that was it. That's
that
what
I'm quite proud of the way that turned out. I thought it turned out really good.
Do the same way.
Yeah, we had a lot of different visuals integrated into that. I thought it was. I thought it came out great, and people can actually go back and watch it on YouTube still. It's on the Uncle YouTube channel, so go back and watch it if you want to taste for what the show is like, what it was.
The new puppets, they're gonna see those cards. That's exactly what they'd be looking at.
Right.
All that.
Yeah,
and I broke it into a couple of podcasts for audio. If you just wanted to listen to the audio, I broke it up into a couple of 2-hour pieces actually, and compressed some of the dead time there, which just removed some of the songs and things that we were playing in between, and I think that turned out well too. So people can go back and watch it, but I'm thinking we're pretty much on target. We should do it the same way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I thought it was great.
Same way. So get the hats ready.
I thought it was awesome.
Let's see. It's already October. It's already October. We got November, December.
What we'll do, bare minimum, Uncle, we'll do some test live streams in the month of December leading up to it, so that just like last year, we did some tests to make sure we were ready for the big day.
Yeah, that's true. Like we did it before.
Again. Yeah.
Well, to make sure that stuff is working.
Exactly.
And if we have to, if we need to, can this thing be a new one? I mean, if you can get it.
You're opening.
I'm just saying.
The mixer.
The mixer, because I'm seeing you playing with these sticks here.
Yeah.
And I'm afraid that if we have this, something might go wrong.
Well,
I mean, just in case.
Well, don't jinx us. Don't jinx us, though. Things have gone real well the past few weeks, sound-wise.
Well, I know that.
Yeah. So far, so good. I've got this wonderful little USB helper that got rid of the extra sound that was driving people to madness,
right?
Becoming jokers themselves. We don't have that problem anymore.
Well, I know. I'm just. I know. I'm saying too much, but I guess that
it'll be all right. We'll make it work, Uncle, one way or another. Mixer, new mixer. And I think I know we had some things go wrong obviously last year. I think we can.
Well, that's my point. I'm just saying
something's bound to go wrong again, but that'll be all right.
Not too long. Yeah,
it's all right.
I mean, if it's running okay, fine. I'm not.
Yeah, I think we're going to be okay.
Scared of it.
Uncle, you might want to think about what you want to do because there's only about 8 minutes left. So, what it is you want to make sure you get out there before we're all done would probably be a good thing.
All right, then let's hit out the shouts.
Oh, shout-out time.
Shout-out time now. After the 8 minutes left, we'll shoot out them.
Okay, who we shouting out to tonight, Uncle?
Let me see.
Someone.
Shout-out to... Of course, my old friend Shine, the girl. I know she's busy. I'll shout out to you.
Okay.
And to everybody in the Orange area. That's kind of everybody, even the beef people, and even though he don't have his show anymore, the party people.
Sure.
And you know who else you are.
I do.
So
I know who they are.
And the Swordman.
Swordman. Pure
Blades. Of course, those guys. And we will be there someday. Okay, there.
Wow.
What is your shout-out?
Well, you know what? I'm actually perusing Twitter at the moment.
Twitter?
And I'm just going to totally randomly, out of synchronicity's sake, shout out this person, David Sirota.
Oh, what about
I have no idea who it is, but he posted something. I don't know. I don't even know what this post is about. But in it, there's a photograph of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania in it. I clearly recognize where this place is. There's this. I even know the parking garage in the foreground. And here's the train station right there.
Train station. And
behind, which you would figure would be in the foreground, is the state capitol. You see the capital of the state capitol in the background, which would really, again, you would think that if it's a picture of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, you'd put the capitol front and center because it's a fine piece of architecture. Parking garage, not so exciting. But hey, David Sirota, thanks for showing that wonderful image of the metropolitan area of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
Sure. And Uncle, what about the street team people?
Oh, yeah, street team. What is happening with you guys? We are going to have a street punk party come New Year's.
Call in to New Year's.
Call in New Year's.
Let us know how your efforts of street creaming have been.
Street creaming has been working. We have to hear you in New Year's Revolution, fellas. So all call in. Was that?
That was my pen. Sorry about that. Yeah, let us know how the year of street cream has been for you.
Been for you all. And see how they can have more good conversation.
Absolutely.
I would love to hear from them guys.
That'd be great. And in the meantime, feel free to call in too. But everybody we're going to recommend to call in and just let us know how you're doing on New Year's, because the more callers, the more guests, the better. So we want to hear how everybody's New Year's goes.
Right.
And Uncle is also happy to send out the cards for Uncle the podcast. I know that. So we're still doing that in a group here. So you might want to talk about that real quick as well, Aaron.
Oh, yeah. We've got a lot of cards that send out to this Chuck there. Well, send them out to.
You can email me.
Oh, email.
Franz at the Age of Transition
Radio, and he'll throw them out to you.
You can get a hold of me through Twitter, through the Uncle Instagram, or any way you get a hold of somebody via the internet. You ought to be able to do it pretty easy. I make it pretty easy for people.
And if you are getting short of them, we've got a lot more to send to you.
Yeah. So the idea is,
let us know if you need more.
You contact us and you let us know a mailing address. We will mail you Uncle the Podcast business cards, and I got some other stuff that I'll send to you too. TheAgeOfTransitions.com stickers I might send your way and things like that. And then you can go about handing them out all over the place, all over the street. You just give them out to everybody you meet, and the show will grow organically. It'll be a true grassroots movement.
Right.
Thanks to you, the Street Cream members. Thank you. You just get a hold of me. I'll send you that stuff.
Correct. And also with noting Sunshine again, then what do you do? I like to know. Well, I know you're not there tonight. I like to know how you like my face. That's all.
Sunshine?
Yeah, that's all.
How do you like Uncle Space?
Yeah.
That's what we all want to know.
Because
that's a good question.
I would, I just want to that.
We all need that feedback, Uncle. Every single one of us.
I want to know how she thinks about me.
We all yearn for facial feedback
of these. Send out for the pictures that I had a couple of weeks ago.
I know it. Right. All right. So our website is unclethepodcast.com. Please do pick up the podcast and subscribe. We need all the customers we can get. So please do subscribe.
So subscribe.
We need you.
Listen to them and need you to be listening.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
And live every Friday on Ocelli.com.
Every Friday, it's live.
11 p.m. Eastern Time.
Eastern Time. That's Eastern Time.
8 p.m. Pacific.
8 Pacific. Mm-hmm. What is the middle?
You stumped me there. It depends on what time zone you're talking about. If you're talking Mountain, if you're talking Central.
10 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Mountain Time, and if you're in Arizona, I can't keep track of it because you don't switch your clocks. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
No, that's right. That's what he said. What he said.
They make their own rules in that state.
They do.
Well, so,
we have to change the clocks back, by the way, people. Have you noticed that?
So I guess that will be the end of the show here.
I guess that's the end of the show. I guess I can't think of anything else.
Yeah, bring us home, Uncle.
Well, that's the show. Bye-bye. Oh, wait on it.
you're gone, it's hard to see. And though your time in this life was cut short, I'll still make you proud of me.
Still talking about you shouldn't eat when you're talking while you're eating. Period.
No talking at the dinner table.
There you go. I said period.